Well, Deandre, obviously your first game with LeBron, and you had that quick series, that kind of back-to-back plays. You find you under the rim, and did that symbolize anything for you, and kind of what you thought it might be like, and just kind of what it signifies for the future as you go through this year now that he's on the court with you?
Yeah, he makes life easy. With his passing and his IQ, hearing his voice out there. Me being the last line of defense and him seeing everything and knowing every play, knowing damn near the whole league's personnel. It gives me that. It enhances some of my abilities. Being a defender and a rim protector. Knowing that he's the low man and. I can cheat out a little bit and help our guards and pick and roll a little bit more. So the confidence is there, especially when he's on the floor.
And then when the passes that he made to you, right, were like just impressive passes. Was there a part of you that it almost looked like you had a chuckle after the second one?
Yeah, because I'm telling everybody, like, I'm saying, some of these passes I didn't even know he seen me cut, just being at the right place at the right time, he's finding you right away with sharp passes. And, like I said, it's making your life easy. I told Brian, I said, he make him, those are easy buckets right there. And I just got in the game, and, that's what we was laughing about.
Deandre, just kind of touching off of that, you mentioned how easy things came. It also seemed like within the offense, a little bit more Braun posting up, even Luka posting up. How much can that diversification in the offense help you guys, just make you guys even harder to guard than you already were beforehand?
Yeah, those are playmakers posting up. Luka and LeBron posting up. It's just us really moving in spaces and just necessarily not being in their way, and moving without the ball, and just being in positions to punish mismatches, and because teams are going to overhelp and going to send two at them. So just me being the presence under the rim, and shooters being shooters.
You guys looked much better in the second half. Obviously, that's kind of been at times a challenge third quarters for this team. What was the halftime like, and what do you think really allowed you guys to go? I think you outscored them 37-22 in the third.
Yeah, LA light's bright, so we're gonna get the team's best punch. No matter what team it is or who's ever out there. Halftime, we just wanted to turn it up a notch and really respect our opponents, and that's what we did. We came out and just stayed to Lakers basketball, and stayed to the script and the personnel the coaches told us to believe in, and that's what we did and got the job done.
DA, just having three elite, passers like Austin and Luka and LeBron, just how easy does it make the game for the rest of you guys offensively?
It makes you ready, to catch the ball and, play make or score. Like I said, they do so much, and they gravitate so much attention, all you could do is just get in open spaces and, to your spots and, just be ready to knock down the shot.
DeAndre, you were 5 years old when LeBron James played his first game. What was it like? I mean, they announced him tonight, like, this is his 23rd season. Mm-hmm. What's your reaction to just, like, that piece of information that this guy has done that for this long?
Yeah, you don't make it seem like that. Running next to him and he running fast as me down the floor. You don't think that it's his 23rd year. The dude's a machine. I was just telling him a fun fact. He threw me an alley-oop. I said, that's my second alley-oop from you. The first one was when I was in 8th grade at your camp. So, it was kind of crazy, just seeing all of that. So it was fun.
What did he say to you?
Yeah, he laughed. He laughed. He's asking me when was it? And I was telling him it was the LeBron James camp in Las Vegas. And yeah, I remember the play and everything. He was court hopping and was playing with the campers, and I remember the one play of him in the drill with me, and he threw that alley oop and I finished it. I couldn't believe he threw it, and here I am again. Can't believe he threw the lob.
Da, JJ was talking about how good you guys are at problem solving in the game. The players get together and talk. What's it like now having LeBron's voice as an active player on the court solving those problems?
I'm really glad this is a young team, but I'm glad we got a hold of accountability before LeBron got out there. I'm glad we, went through some tough games and a little hardships, ups and downs, a little adversity. And, it made us prepared for times like this, where, he says one thing and we get it done right away. And we had a little example of that where he said something about the defense and we just locked in, held each other accountable, and we just followed the script and followed personnel.
Ayton in that third quarter, I think the Lakers went like on a 21-5 run, kind of really set things up. What did you see during that stretch there?
Our defense create our offense. We can run. I felt that we was playing a lot faster as well, and that's what really got the crowd into it. I'm starting to realize this team, that gets us going is our defensive stops. That's what keeps our momentum pushed. You got dudes like Marcus and Bronny when he comes out there. Me trying to protect the rim, and Jack's bringing that energy. With his dunks and just closing out possessions. That's what gets everybody riled up and going. So that was a good example tonight in that third quarter.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.